Hi and welcome back to the channel. In this video we'll be taking a look at why Barcelona has been struggling to score, winning approximately 9 games to only 1 goal. Let's take a look at why Barcelona has been struggling. But before we do that, please do subscribe to the channel as this would help us a whole lot. And to further this channel, I actually have some videos coming up. We're gonna take a new direction in this channel, on this channel actually. So please stay tuned for that, and please keep on supporting, keep on subscribing. Please share this video. Let's help the channel grow. So let's start off with the build-up phase and why Barcelona has been struggling to score, because this is where the biggest problem lies. As always, Barcelona look to build up through the centre backs, trying to find them as soon as possible. But nowadays team don't press, they just sit on the midfielders trying to close down the whole midfield, because pressing Barcelona and all other big teams is not a viable option. So the double pivot does come into play, but yet again they would even go as far as pressing the double pivot, leaving all the other players alone to actually press wherever the ball may go, to the fullbacks or whatsoever. In this picture right here, you can see that Barca actually builds up in the normal back four positioning, and this is in my opinion a real problem, because not only do you have Sergio Busquets being marked extensively, the 3 players up front is blocking all the passing lane throughout the midfield. And now Barcelona only really has 2 options: to play the ball sideways or go back to Marc-Andre ter Stegen. This slows down Barcelona's build-up phase really badly. And you can see Frenkie de Jong or whoever, Pedri, Gavi, trying to drop, they are also marked very extensively. And as you can see that all the other players are now marked, because the opposition have numbers to actually do so. So against Athletic Bilbao, Barcelona was really heavily outnumbered in midfield. So now Xavi had Frenkie de Jong splitting between the centre backs to create a back 3. But this didn't help, because Bilbao did sit back. They didn't fall for this trap now, and they had the midfield on lockdown. So Barcelona now wanted to get them into a pressing shape, but they actually stayed back. They didn't fall for that trap. And now Barcelona was heavily lacking a 6-on-2 battle in midfield, heavily lacking for Barca. They also used ter Stegen in order to come forward, but Barcelona was still lacking as Bilbao sat off and actually pressed the midfielders and locked them down. You can see here in the picture, we have Frenkie de Jong in this positioning over here, where he's now dropping. And this has 1, 2, 3 players, 4, 5, 6 players in this position in the midfield to press where the ball is in the midfield, overloading. Now you can see we have Busquets, Christensen and Gavi, the only 3 players for Barcelona in midfield. Now this is not what Xavi actually had in mind. This closes down all progression throughout the midfield. And now they can only play sideways and yet again backwards towards ter Stegen. But now you can see in between the lines there's also nobody operating, because the midfield is dropping now so deeply for Barca. And this is a real problem, because you can see over here we have these players in this positioning and the line is very deep, even though ter Stegen is over here. You can see that they closed down the whole of the midfield, and Barcelona was really struggling in this game. In my opinion, Xavi's tactics also do not complement each other, because you can see here Barcelona has a back 3 which worked very effectively, but you can see he has the wrong players in these deep positions. This is Frenkie de Jong, where Frenkie de Jong should really be in midfield, but Frenkie is now dropping deep because the Barcelona centre backs cannot really progress the ball, when in actuality he should have been right here in this position over here, and somebody else would have been there in that position. That is what I mean by complementing each other. Frenkie de Jong should not be in this position. He should be a little bit further forward. And now look at this. One of our best players on the ball is now being pressed in a very deep position. If they overturn the ball now, Frenkie cannot find passes towards Gavi or towards Busquets. He has to probably go long, or he has to go back to the centre backs, or he has to go wide, which Bilbao could actually have prepared for. I'm also unhappy with the way that Barcelona are using the fullbacks, because look at this scenario right here. Christensen is trying to draw the players out of position, but this is not working because Bilbao is actually now keeping their line, meaning the line breaking passes is not there, and we haven't been up to scratch. So the wingers could have been in perfect position to exploit this, but now we have Alejandro Balde and Rafinha, who's not really that good in one-on-one situations. We have no players that's making runs in behind this high line that Bilbao has. And that is the problems that we find ourselves in. We don't make runs in behind. We don't find the suitable place for this. Look, where's Frankie de Jong yet again. Why does Xavi want to overload the midfield, but Frankie has to drop that deep? We have no influential players. Look at where's Gavi, look at where's Ferran. We only have 2 players that's between the lines, which is disaster. And yet again, nobody running in between these lines or trying to break them. And that is a real problem that Xavi needs to sort out. So how can Barcelona score more goals? Well, let's take a look. I would start with my centre backs playing much deeper than they usually do and use the inverted fullback as another line, which would in turn free up the free eights in order to go do damage higher up the pitch. And we can also use Gavi and an extra midfielder and have an inverted winger and push up our fullback to tie up the fullbacks on that side. So when Barcelona would be pressed into these positions higher up the pitch, Barcelona would likely have more than 2 numerical advantage, if not 3, higher up the pitch. So teams can struggle pressing in this shape, the 3-2-5. But what should we do in the final third? This is the real problem. How do we break teams down? Having the wingers extremely wide to pin back the fullbacks would be a great start. Even if Xavi wants to play Gavi, have Alejandro Balde going up high to pin them back. Free eights very important because these guys can operate in these regions to do some creativity. We pick too many Frank Kessie and Frankie de Jong in these regions. And then we can also have both of our fullbacks, if there's a wing out wide, to invert next to Sergio Busquets in order to have more lines centrally that can do the gegenpressing as well. However, this would have the free eights operating a little bit narrow and they can do some free eight roaming. But I think, in my opinion, the back 3 with the 3-2-5 is the best option for Barcelona. I don't want to see Frankie de Jong this deep or anybody or Sergio Busquets, because this would be the best position for Barcelona to start from. However, Xavi seems to be like a really stuck in his ways kind of manager. He's been doing a great job. However, we can just fine-tune some tactics to be scoring some more goals. But that will be all from our side today, guys. Please do subscribe to the channel. You've been a great help. As I said, there's something new coming. I don't want to hype you guys hype you too much for that, but I want to thank each and every one of you who've been supporting me, and please do subscribe. Thank you very much for this video and watching it. Goodbye.